Today I just wanted to do a quick video just to kind of remind. Sometimes we need reminders. That's what we're here to do. That's what all these fantastical things here available to us on the planet are here for. Each of us are here to be that for each other. We give each other reminders because as humans we're prone to amnesia. All of us. All of us. We're prone, the human mind forgets all the miracles and blessings that we have constantly in every moment, and we tend to focus on the negative and seeking and what we want instead of seeing that we already have everything we need and want and could ever want. So reminders are good, and so I wanted to remind you of the miracle of life, of how blessed we are, even when things aren't, there's a lot of challenges in our life. You're still completely blessed that you're here. Life is a miracle. You're a miracle. Like, really, it's not just like, don't take that as a slogan or something trivial, whatever. It's a miracle. Think of it. Just the fact that the universe exists. The actual real universe. And the galaxies and all the planets and the stars and the sun. I mean, unbelievable that this planet, ocean, exists. This planet is flying around a big ball of fire, the sun. And flying around this thing is, we have a nightlight, the moon, that gives us moonlight. I mean, come on. Is that perfect or what? The way this whole planet is set for us is unbelievably perfect. We have everything we could ever want or need here. We're so abundant. But it's our fear, it's our human mind. That's why we fight and compete where no competition is needed, where we delude ourselves. There's not enough room for all these growing population baloney. There's so much space not used. There's so much space wasted that if we worked in total cooperation and fairness, and we didn't have classes, and we didn't have people who have so much overabundance and other people have nothing, if we balanced all of that out and listened to the right scientists and the right people to use all the knowledge we do have of how to work with the environment, we could prosper regardless of the population. There's ways to get around everything. We can design a society that doesn't damage the planet or deplete it, and work with it. The sky's the limit of what we can do here. It really is, if we just all work together. So there is enough for everybody. And this planet has endless medicines and foods for us. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's fantastic. It's really hard to believe. I mean, as human beings, I think that's the other thing why our mind, one of the problems is we're here, we're born, and it's overwhelming. Think about it, right? You get born, there's the light, you hear doctor smacks you on the ass, bam! And all of a sudden there's all this light, and now you're out of your home, which has been your mother's womb, and boom, and now we're in the world, and all these things are happening. That's why babies are always like, they're always wide-eyed and looking around. They feel like they're in disbelief, because they are in disbelief. And then they start to get taught things, and they get in wonderful things and not so wonderful things they get exposed to, and we get exposed to. And it's overwhelming, this life. And then even just forget what we do to ourselves, and that just the actual life itself. Think about it. We get born in this reality, and look at all the senses. How overwhelming! Taste, touch, smell, sound, color, all of it. It's very overwhelming in this overly abundant, holographic funhouse. So we get overwhelmed, and it is overwhelming. Which is why it's good to find balance. And then in our being overwhelmed, and then in our struggles with our mind as humans, we start to get disconnected. Because if you look at the rest of the planet, other than humans, everything else is in balance. Everything else is working out exactly how it's supposed to. Trees don't suffer suffer from thought or worry or whatever. Same with animals. They don't have that capacity, obviously, but it frees them. They're free and they're peaceful. It's only humans that suffer, and we suffer from our minds, and then we manifest from that place, and we project from that place. This is where we cause all these problems. But it's because that's our struggle with the mind. That's what separates us from all the other things. It's the struggle of the mind. And it's also the fact that we're so overwhelmed. But and when we're so overwhelmed, we tend to get amnesia. And the mind focuses on constant lack. Think about it. Even, I'm going to lose my job. Well, or I might lose my job, right? You're in there and you're worried for weeks. It's, you might lose your job. Well, how about you've had a job up to then? How about you have a job right now? How about you have air in your lungs? How about you're drinking a yummy coffee? How about you just had a nice laugh with a coworker? How about, you know what I mean? But we don't see that because we're focusing on what we want or what we don't have, or what we're afraid is going to happen on the unknown. I'll be back. There's some people here. Some workers doing their work. So yeah. So we tend to forget in every moment of just how blessed. Which is why it's good to go out in nature. You can still, some people do, can go out to the forest or the woods or the park and still stress a little bit, generally, for the most part. You ever notice when you go out to nature, the worries kind of slip away? So it's get out to nature for many reasons. That's just one of a million reasons to do it. But it can certainly help to remind you of how blessed we are. It's hard to feel lack when you're out in nature, right? Because it's just an overabundance of beauty and magic. And it is magical that all this exists in its complexity. It really is. Even ourselves, our own bodies, think about it. It's a miracle. This thing, we have a computer that's running our bodies. Right now I have a computer that's regulating my blood and my heartbeat, and it's beating my heart, and it's sending electrical signals, and it's fighting bacteria, and it's digesting food, and it's doing all these things. Automatically, it's amazing, unbelievable. It really is. All of this is unbelievable. We're so shocked and overwhelmed with disbelief, really, in a way. But it's magical. So by connecting with others and connecting with nature and doing things you love and enjoying, art and music and whatever, really getting into it and creating too. Creating is because we're creative beings, and we are the creators of all this, really. And our own experience, we are the creators, we are the masters of our own experience. Whether we understand it or not, we are. So as creators, that's another way to helps us to feel, to remember and see the magic, is by creating as well as enjoying. So there's lots of ways you can tap into whatever works for you. There's a million ways you can tap into it and remind yourself. But if you're having trouble in this moment, I just wanted to remind you, life is a miracle. Regardless of the challenges, regardless even if you're going through really tough or even maybe horrific things, life is still a gift. And it's a blink, it's a tiny, tiny moment in your overall existence, because you're eternal. And I'm not talking religious stuff, even just from a scientific thing. Energy never ends. We're made of energy. So when we pass on, yeah, our body decays, but our energy, some people believe, there's in religious ideas or whatever, and that's fine. But if you think that, then still, you're eternal. Infinite. You're infinite. But even from a scientific point of view, we're infinite, because energy never ends. It just goes somewhere else. So whether you believe in source, the same thing. Whichever way you look at it, it all points to the same thing. One way or another, we're infinite. So this is infinite. This is really just a blink. Really, we're on vacation, and we take it too seriously. And it's an overwhelming vacation in this holographic funhouse, but it's still a vacation. We forget that. So enjoy your vacation and remind yourself of how blessed you are, because you are. And it's just a blink, and then we're gone from this state. And we're still here, but So, yeah, don't forget, life really is a miracle, and you're a miracle. Think about it, of all the billions of people, even in the entire universe, you're the only you. There's only one expression that's you. We're all one, we're all connected, but your particular expression, you're the only one. You're a masterpiece, you're one-of-a-kind work of art. There never has been and never will be another you. That's a miracle in and of itself. Flaws or not. So don't forget that. You're a miracle. This is a miracle. It's all fantastical. And if you forget, do things to remind yourself. And if you see other people forgetting, by all means, remind them. You can remind them by telling them, or you can remind them just by showing them, by doing things to just, tickle them, kiss them, hug them, make love to them, whatever. Make them a yummy meal that blows their mind, whatever. I think that's good. Remember, life's a miracle. You're a miracle. We're endlessly abundant, and we're endlessly infinite, and we have nothing to lose here, really. We don't, because once this is all over, we return back to our natural state, whatever that is, energy, soul, whatever source, whatever you want to look at it, God. Either way, we return back to source, so we have nothing to lose here, really. There's nothing to lose here. It's a lie and an illusion and a self-deception and conditioning that makes us fearful and think that there's something to lose here. There's nothing to lose. You're just on vacation. Enjoy your vacation. Love and light.